Hi, my name is Amber Chesser, and I am a licensed professional counselor and family engagement specialist with Starry Foster Care. My coworker Jennifer Hebel and I are so excited to be a part of this Neighbor to Neighbor initiative. Today, we are going to be talking a little bit about encouraging connection. It's something that sounds so simple, and yet sometimes it's really hard to think of ways to encourage connection in our day-to-day lives. I'm going to share with you a short quote from Dr. Cross from TCU, one of the co-founders of Trust-Based Relational Intervention, or TBRI. He said that connection is the foundation of resilience. And I think that really highlights why thinking about connection more often is so important for kids and families. Trust-based relational intervention, or TBRI, is made up of several principles that help to create the framework for this model. One of the principles are connecting principles, and the connecting principles are made up of mindfulness strategies as well as engagement strategies. And today we will be focusing on the engagement strategies. The engagement strategies are behavioral matching, physical touch, eye contact, authoritative voice, and playful engagement. We'll start with behavioral matching, and it is kind of what it sounds like. It's when you posture your body to match the child's body in front of you. So that could be lowering yourself down to their visual field, bending down, sitting on the floor so that you can look at them eye to eye. Dan Siegel, in one of his books, talks about the power of actually getting below eye level sometimes when we're talking with a kiddo that maybe is really dysregulated. Behavioral matching can also mean mirroring the position of the child in front of you. So that could be sitting flat on the floor with your legs crossed under you. Maybe that's sitting on your knees. Maybe it's laying on your side and getting eye to eye with them. Jennifer will talk a little bit more about this in her section. Some fun ways to encourage this behavioral matching are to play games where you have to mirror each other's bodies. So one example of that would be to have your hands like this, and to have your child follow where you put your hands, up high, down low. This can be a fun game to play and to practice mirroring each other's body language. Eye contact is another engagement strategy and is another powerful tool we have to help us connect with our children. As we start to talk about this a little bit more, I just want to mention and help us all to remember that for some kids, eye contact is very uncomfortable, and we never want to force a child to make eye contact with us, but instead gently encourage them to increase the amount of time that they can make eye contact with us. When we reflect on why is eye contact so powerful and important, I want us to bring up maybe some images we have as we think about the way a parent, a caregiver might make eye contact with an infant. Usually they're very warm, soft eyes. You might be cooing or talking to the infant, mirroring their facial expressions and sounds. All of that create this very intimate, connecting interaction between a caregiver and an infant. And so that starts to help us understand that often innately eye contact is a way that we connect with our children. It's also interesting to know that eye contact actually increases the dopamine levels in our brains, which helps to promote learning. And so eye contact promotes connection, learning, all of this beautiful back and forth interaction between us and our child. Some ways to encourage eye contact, especially if you have a child that maybe is hesitant to engage that way, are to play some silly games to get them to look at you. So one idea might be to pretend like you can't remember the color of your child's eyes. So maybe you would say, let me see those eyes. What color are they? I can't remember. Are they purple? Are they lime green? Are those eyes orange? Let me see those eyes. I can't remember. And then when they look at you to say, yes, you have those beautiful green eyes. I love seeing those eyes. So there are different fun ways that you can encourage your child to make eye contact with you. And as I said earlier, just remembering that it is a powerful tool, and to try to avoid using eye contact as a time to, give a very stern stare or to use eyes in a way that might be harmful, because it is a very intimate way to connect with one another. Another engagement strategy is healthy touch. Humans need touch to survive. And the human skin is actually the largest sensory organ on the body. And I think that really speaks to the importance of healthy touch. TBRI refers to healthy touch as a critical daily nutrient. It's something that children need to have and receive every day. There's a lot of research that talks about the importance of frequent open hand touches. So those are touches that occur with the palms of our hands versus just maybe with our fingertips or the backs of our hands. There are lots of ways to encourage healthy touch, and I'm going to share some with you. You can play games like drawing letters and guessing what letters you're drawing, or playing a really fun game called Weather Report. When you play Weather Report, you can use your fingers in different ways, and the child can guess what the weather report is. So you might do light touches for rain, or you might do a chop for lightning. You can get really creative and Google weather report and have some other ideas of ways to play that game. Some other ideas are high fives, gentle arm squeezes, bathing the family dog together, washing hands together, maybe a piggyback ride or a thumb war, giving hugs with different levels of pressure, playing hand slapping games with different silly songs, giving each other pedicures and manicures, or just a massage, a foot rub or a hand rub, maybe a back rub. Some kids love having their head scratched. Maybe you have some face paint or makeup you can put on one another. Whenever you're engaging in healthy touch, it's always good to keep in mind the kiddo in front of you. And maybe you know something about their history that makes them sensitive or uncomfortable with touch. And so always remember to give those kiddos a heads up before you engage in a healthy touch activity. To quote Dr. Purvis in The Connected Child, healthy touch builds interpersonal bonds and improves brain chemistry. It's a really important tool for us to have as we think about ways to encourage connection with our children. The last engagement strategy I'm going to talk about before I hand it off to Jennifer is authoritative voice. When you first hear that, you might think that sounds like the opposite of a way to connect with a child. But really, authoritative voice is a balance of structure and nurture in the tone of our voice. Balancing structure and nurture is a very important TBRI concept that we apply to all aspects of parenting. What does your voice sound like when you are giving information to your child, or directing them to complete a task, or just being playful? You might notice all the way that your tone goes up and down, or maybe your cadence speeds up or slows down. There are all different ways that we can adjust our voice to convey something to our children. And it is important as much as possible to convey to our children that they are important to us and that we see them and we value them. An authoritative voice is a way to do that. Try to notice this week all of the different ways that you change your voice to convey a message to your kiddos. And now I'm going to hand it off to Jennifer.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, one of the family engagement specialists with Starry, and I'm gonna piggyback off of Amber and continue to talk about encouraging connection and engaging with our kids. One way to encourage connection is through playful engagement. Playful engagement is super awesome because it can totally disarm the fear response in our kids. If we need them to do something, if we need to correct them or redirect them, if we're just silly with them and kind of playful with them, it can totally work without escalating them and help get things done. A great way to be playful with our kids, to sing silly songs with them, use a playful voice with them. I know even just going through my day as I'm picking up socks or picking up shoes and needing my kids to help, I can yell up the stairs and say, Micah, come and get your shoes. I've asked you 3 times. Or I can use a playful voice and say, Mikey, oh Mikey, 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 come and get your socky. And he responds much better and everybody stays happy. Another way to have playful engagement with your kids is to focus on rituals. And those are just things we do in our everyday routines that promote connection, and they can be super little. They don't have to be big and elaborate. Some rituals that are really easy are creating something for your goodbyes and your hellos. Something silly with younger kids, like every time you or your child leaves, you say, see you later, alligator. And they say, after a while, crocodile. You can find some of those cute little hello and goodbye things on the internet. Maybe you come up with a special high five or handshake with each kid that you just kind of do throughout the day as you pass each other. Maybe every time you go past your son, you just kind of rub the back of his head, or anything like that, that just gives you that second of connection with your kids is helpful. With teens, it's a little bit different, connecting with them. And I think the most important thing to remember about teens is to be flexible. Teens, we're always nagging them, right? We always need them to help. They always need to do this, they always need to do that. But if we can just let go of the way we want things to be and just be flexible and try to meet them where they are, that can promote connection. My two girls, 16 and 18, they would say the best way to connect with them, they would say 3 words: Chick-fil-A. No, but seriously, in all seriousness, a good way to connect with teens is through food. If I'm feeling like I haven't spent some quality time with my older kids, I will just say, hey, Brendan, you want to jump in the car? Let's go to Chick-fil-A and get some lemonade, or let's go to Dairy Queen and get ice cream cone. Those kind of things are super easy ways. Teenagers always love food. Another way that I try to connect with my teens is to just be available and let them come to me. I try to hang out in the kitchen or hang out at the dining room table or our bar stools and just be there when they come downstairs, when they're coming or going. And a lot of times they'll just sit and talk. And sometimes even with their friends, they'll come in and sit at the table. I try to have snacks too. Again, that always helps. Sometimes I'll have chips and salsa or banana bread or cookies or even just lemonade or sweet tea, something like that. And it just creates a way for us to connect. Another way to connect with teens is behavior matching or posture matching. My teens love to sit on the stairs. And the stairs are right by our dining room table. So they'll sit there, and sometimes I'll go over there and sit on the stairs, and we'll sit there for 15 or 20 minutes just talking about, just small talk. And then before you know it, all 3 of my teenagers and I are on the stairs. My husband will walk by and be like, what's going on over here? He doesn't want to sit on the stairs, but I think it's great to be with them. Sometimes I'll sit on the stairs and they'll come sit by me. Sometimes they're sitting at the bar stools and I'll go and sit on the bar stools with them. One day I was in the kitchen and I just decided just to hop up on the counter and sit there. And before I knew it, all 3 of my older kids were, I want to sit on the counter. They're like, oh, mom's doing something different. This is kind of cool. And we just laughed. It's kind of funny to see everybody hop up on the counter. And we don't usually do that, but just try not to be so rigid. And especially now, in this time of COVID, we all have emotional needs, right? And our need for felt safety, our kids' needs for felt safety is really high. So we need a lot of nurture. And I think, we don't want to give up structure altogether, but if you see your teens, just laying on the couch and they have some schoolwork they need to do, they need to go mow the yard, they need to take the trash out, maybe just giving them some extra time, because, there's a lot going on in their heads and they just might need to lay down and feel. I think that's what we would like to do ourselves. So just kind of, don't always assume, that they're being lazy or whatever, but just try to be acknowledging what could be going on for them, especially during this time. Speaking of felt safety and lots of nurturing, we talked about playful engagement, but anytime we can just put more play into our day right now is super healthy. Because we just all have a lot going on with COVID and school and work. I'll keep puzzles out on the table. Play-Doh, Legos, little things that are easy to engage with little guys. I don't know, any kind of things that, Uno cards on the table, dominoes, whatever your family likes, board games, so that it's not hard to go and grab something and the opportunity is there if the, time is right. I think we were all much better at this at the beginning of COVID, just anticipating being at home together, but now we're all kind of growing weary. Everybody, I know the teens and the kids are not being able to connect to their friends as much. So, and just give each other lots of grace. Give ourselves grace, give our kids grace, lots and lots of grace. Their kids might be on internet more, playing video games more than we like, but that's the only way they can connect with their friends right now. So just trying to just go with the flow and just remember that, next year the kids will look back and they'll remember how they felt during that stressful COVID time. And we want them to remember being safe and secure, and mom and dad were calm and cool and loving. So I just encourage you to take care of yourself, be proactive, and planning connection throughout your day, so that we have more margin in our day and we might have time to have a cup of coffee or have a phone call with a friend, if we kind of plan a little bit ahead and just take advantage of those little moments of connecting. I wish you all lots of connection in your homes.
Jennifer and I really appreciate your time. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day.